Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel update for first quarter 2023. And yes, we're done with February. January. It'll probably be February by the time this video goes up. So much overdue and quite delayed, but that is just the nature of the thing. And to touch on that, you will have noticed that my upload schedule for the last 2 months has been weird, to say the least. And quite frankly, I've just been really sick for the last almost 2 months, starting in mid to early December, and I just got over the third one, so it was 3 in a row. And quite frankly, there's nothing I could do about it. I had really big plans for videos and stuff like that over December. They just didn't happen. And I really did want to record. I wanted to do it. I just couldn't talk. There were moments where I couldn't get like 2 or 3 words in without just like choking and coughing my lungs out. But hopefully this is it. And honestly, it's just the time of year. I have kids in daycare. They bring it home. What are you going to do about it? If you have kids and they've ever gone to daycare, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing really to be done about it. So anyway, that's that. That's why this is delayed. That's why everything has been kind of weird. But anyway, moving on. One thing I did want to say. I noticed there are some ads on some of my videos. Those are not mine. I actually looked into this, and apparently there were no copyright strikes, which I've had ads on videos with copyright strikes. These are YouTube's ads that they just decided they were going to put on my, my most popular videos, let's call them. And they just put them on without my permission, and I get nothing, right? They're going to put ads on my videos because they want to, because they're the most popular ones on my channel. And I get no cut. So I just want you to let you know, I've said this in the past, I will continue to say this, I don't foresee this ever changing. I do not put ads on my videos. I think it's disrespectful to make you watch 2 unskippable ads to watch a Majora's Mask video. Like, I would feel embarrassed to do that. But, just to let you know, just in general, I don't want, you shouldn't have to watch an ad to watch any of the stuff I put out. It's ridiculous. So I just want to let you know, they're not my ads. They're YouTube's ads. I cannot opt out. The only way I can opt out is if I get big enough to opt in, then I can opt out. So, YouTube, right? Anyway, as of the time that I was writing this and preparing for this video, I had 201 subscribers, which was my all-time high. I'm down to 200. Not that big of a deal. My goal for 2022 was to reach 200, and I was 1 short. But made it early in January anyway. It doesn't matter. My goal for this year, for 2023, is 250. I don't put out a lot of stuff, and a lot of the stuff is, kind of not what YouTube is pushing right now. So I think 250 is a reasonable subscriber count. So that is my goal. In order to do that, I am going to push more lore and loot, because those seem to be the ones that really do get people talking, and that's good. So that's going to be the goal, 250. Let's do it. Majora's Mask, I'll be finishing that. And then I think I'm going to take a break from longer series like that. And what I mean is not necessarily that I won't be doing bigger games. I might stick to some shorter ones for a while. But what I wanted to do is more how do I put this? Smaller chunks of shorter stuff. Or smaller chunks of longer stuff is what I meant. So, for example, some people do seasons of their games. If it's a long one, say it's a really long RPG. Season 1 is first part of the story, and then you take a break, you do something else. and then you do season 2. Like let's just completely random, right? Completely random. Let's say we're doing Oblivion, right? Elder Scrolls 4. And let's say season 1 would be like the Fighters Guild. So we do the entirety of the Fighters Guild, and then that's the end of season 1. And then we play a different game. Like, I don't know, anything else. It doesn't matter. A few series later, you come back to Oblivion, and you're like, season 2, and this time you do the Mages Guild. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. So instead of doing like one entire game, 70 episodes, people get tired of like, I don't want to watch this anymore, right? You do it in chunks. You do something else. You come back to it later. I think that's I'm going to experiment with that. I'm not saying that's how I'm going to go, but that's just kind of an example of what I am thinking for the future. That's how I'm going to go. Because Majora's Mask, I'm having a good time, but with everything, with being sick and all that stuff, that series has just dragged on a little too long for my taste. That series needed to end a while ago. And so, despite that, it's almost not like we're really close to finishing the game, but I really want to just end it and be done and start something new. Another thing I wanted to experiment, so like in that same kind of topic, I wanted to experiment with like role playing in a game. I tried it a little bit in BioShock and the Technomancer, but it didn't work out because those games really they weren't role-playing games in the sense that you can't really, there's no decisions that affect. BioShock is very straightforward, right? You're kind of like, the whole point of the game is that you're fated to do what you do because you're being controlled. In the Technomancer, it's an RPG and you have choices, air quotes, but not really. No choices that are really impactful. You know what I mean? Like at the end, what choices you make, and you get 3 choices, and it's from a drop-down menu. And like, this is dumb. So those didn't quite work out like I wanted. But something like Dragon Age or Mass Effect or Knights of the Old Republic, and I know I just mentioned the 3 BioWare games, but maybe some Elder Scrolls, maybe some Fallout. I tried doing it in Fallout 1 as well. Kind of just, I am this character, this is what this character would do. It's not me playing the game, it's the character making the choices based on the character's personality and how they grow. Again, I don't think it worked out very well in Fallout, but I'm thinking of doing that. I'm gonna experiment, and I don't know which series I'm gonna start with, but this is something I've definitely been wanting to do. And like, when I mean like, I would not do commentary, I would just speak as the character. I think that's a cool thing, like a cool theme in my head, and I would like to try that. I don't know if it would work out, but it's something I am probably gonna end up doing sooner rather than later. So maybe like season 1 of like one of these games where I just do that. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. And then, like I said earlier, I'm going to focus on lore and loot content. I don't want to wait like months and months between episodes like I have in the past. I have said that these videos take a long time to make, and they do. Like I just finished one. I haven't decided if this is going up first or that video is going up first, but it's a ring guide on all the artifacts. Ring art, like legendary artifact rings. And that video took longer to make than I thought, because you got to do the research, you got to get in the game, you got to try out the rings, you got to look, if you're going to do any kind of research on the lore, if you're going on like the Imperial Library, which is a cool website, by the way, if you're into Elder Scrolls lore, or UESP, or whatever you're looking into. And then you got to write the script, and then you got to record the script, and then you got to record the video, like the footage, and then you got to put the footage and edit all the stuff and look at the stats and put the stats on the screen, and then make sure that what you're saying matches the things that are on the screen. It's just a long process is what I'm getting at, and I enjoy it, but it takes a while to make. So sometimes I'm just like, I'm not in the mood. I had a long day. The last thing I want to do is work, because that seems like work, but it's actually kind of fun at the end of the day. and I enjoy putting that content out. So be pushing more lore and loot. And then I'm done, right? But the last thing I did want to say again, I've said this in the past, and I want to give an example. There have been times where people asked me to play a game on the channel, and I've played the game. Example, Fallout 4 Nuka World. That was a request. Somebody asked me to play it, I played it. I have no issues doing that. Now we're doing House Telvanni in Morrowind, the Lore and Loot series. We're doing the Telvanni questline. Why? Because someone recommended it or suggested it in the comments, or I think it was the community section. So yeah, guess what? Somebody said it, I'm doing it. Those are the kinds of things. A while ago, somebody requested, this is a long time ago, that I do Castlevania Symphony of, no, not Symphony of, whichever one the PS2 version is. I don't have that game, right? But I was like, you know what? I love Castlevania, so I did a Castlevania game. So if you have things that you would like to watch, I have a list, a game list. I'll look for it and I'll put it back online. But if there are things that you want me to play or recommendations, like, hey, suggestions, do this, by all means, put them down. I will more than likely, at the very least, consider it. I might not buy like a brand new $70 game to play on the channel, but if it's something that's doable, definitely it's something that I'm completely open to. And the last thing I'm gonna say, the Discord channel. That's where I put some, like, other than the community tab on the channel, the Discord is where I talk video game stuff with the people. I'll put if I remember, I'm gonna try to remember, I will put a link to our Discord in the description. Join in. There's a few people. I share it with this other guy. He has a channel too. We were kind of like channel buddies. I watch his stuff, he watches mine, so we started a Discord together and we have mutual friends. And anyway, that's another thing that I'd like to get going again. So all that being done, this is rambling on for a little too long now. So again, let's push for that 250. Tell your friends, if you have friends that like lore, Elder Scrolls. I know there's a lot of lore series out there. I've been looking at some random ones that I randomly found. Like, tell people. I would love to see other people's like reactions to the series that I'm doing, and I'm trying to get it a little more organized and like, what's the word? Like, when I started, I was all over the place, right? But like, I'm trying to get more focused, I guess is what I'm saying. Is I would do like an episode where I'd be like, hey, we're gonna do this quest. Also, let's talk about strongholds, or hey, we're gonna do this quest, and also let's talk about something else. Like 2 topics in one video. I don't like that, so I'm trying to like focus these. And like, this is the Telvanni house quest line. I'm doing like a unique thumbnail for it, and we're just focusing on House Telvanni. We're not gonna do House Telvanni, and also let's talk about, you know, Nick's hounds or something random like that. So anyway, that's all I have to say. As always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, doing all that stuff, and like I said, let's try to get that 250 this year. And any suggestions, comments, leave them below, put them in the community tab, or head over to the Discord and hit me up there. And as always, have a good one, and I'll catch you in the videos.